Managing monitor. Fucking moderators. Yeah, okay, that's on. Right, let's do this, shall we? Is my fly done up? Yep, fly's done up. Good. Okie dokie then. Right, welcome back to another video on the Fenland Biker. Today is a bit of a first for a number of reasons. Firstly, we're doing a repair video on the Virago. I haven't had to repair the Virago since I've got it. I've done a few modifications to it, but this is the first time something's actually sort of gone wrong on it. So it's a bit of a first for that reason. The other is, in that corner, I'm live streaming this. Now, I'm still recording it for a video, editing, yada yada yada, to be done later. But I was laid in bed last night thinking about how I'm going to do this video, and I thought, you know what, why don't I just live stream the whole thing and make a video? Don't know if anyone's going to watch, but, you know, whatever. Give it a try. If it don't really work out, well, never mind, I don't have to do it again. So, bit of background on what's happened to the Virago. Anyone who saw my winter solstice ride, link will be in the description, will have seen that something went very badly wrong with the electrics on this bike on the way back. Essentially, half of the buttons, lights, switches on it have stopped working all at the same time. Nearly all are quite safety critical as well. It started, I first noticed the indicators weren't working. Well, to be specific, I noticed the little green light wasn't flashing when I was indicating, and then I just leant forward slightly and I could see that the indicators themselves weren't working. Pulling over to see what had gone on with that, I then noticed that the horn wasn't working, the kickstand cut-off switch wasn't working, the neutral indicator wasn't working, the headlight is still working, and so is main beam, and quite crucially, the brake light isn't working either. Of course, I didn't know the brake light wasn't working until I got home. On the day, I decided, you know what, I'm not that far from home, I'll carry on and I'll get there. I don't need a neutral indicator to ride safely. If I know my brake lights weren't working, I'd have stopped much sooner and got the bike recovered, but never mind. I'm home, I didn't die, that's the important thing. So today's task is to figure out what's caused all of these things to go wrong all at the same time. Because at the moment the bike is unrideable. I can't take it out like that. I can't take it out like this. It's, you know, it's not safe. I mean, no bloody brake lights, Jesus. I'm just going to get punted up the arse, aren't I? And just, well, I'm just going to die. And there we go. So we need to figure that out, get everything working. I also need to fix the back indicators, because as you can see, one of them fell off and I had to tie it on with a spare USB cable that I had in my pocket at the time. So I need to sort that out. Whether or not that has caused today's issue remains to be seen, but I suppose we'll find out. And you'll also notice the saddlebags are gone, so I want to relocate the indicators back to their original spot, which is sort of halfway up here to where that nut and bolt is right now. So that's what we're going to do. Starting point, I've done a bit of research into what could have caused this and read through the manuals, which are around here somewhere. I'm suspecting we've got a blown fuse. Now, there is a fuse box on this bike. It's not that easy to get to. Depending on what source you're reading from, it's either under the seat or under the tank, or the top cover as the manual calls it. Apparently that's not an actual tank, but never mind. So we need to get those off, find the fuse box, try change the fuse. I would also like to try and find what's caused this fuse to blow. Have we got some damaged wiring somewhere? You know, something like that. It could well be that that indicator is what's caused it, because I had to modify the wiring to relocate the indicators. So when that's fallen off, as that yanked the wiring, caused a short, blown me fuse. Don't know, I suppose I'll find out. So, yeah, without further ado, let's start getting it apart, see what we can find. And, well, there's still nobody on the live stream. Oh, shit. Where's my coffee? There it is. Oh, jeez, there it is. Alright. You can say, I'd cancel the whole bloody channel if I'd lost my coffee. Jesus. That's good coffee. Proper filter coffee made right. Okay. Anyone who does decide to watch this live stream back, what you're seeing here is, I suppose, all the behind the scenes stuff that I do. Like trying to set up camera angles when you can't really see the screen. Will that go there? You know what, we can leave that one off for now. Yeah, I'll just use this one. Okay. Crucially, kneeling pad. Oh, gotta look after the knees. So, seat off first. Let's have that bit comes straight off. Go there. Far too many keys for the bike. I did have a little tray to put nuts and bolts in. Well, I've put that. I'll put them there. So, here's the fuse box behind door number 1. It is. It's there. Bloody hell, I don't have to take the tank off. Something has gone well. Fucking hell. Let's get the other camera out. Oh, got my beard caught in it. Alright. There we go, there it is. That's the fuse box. I suppose I shouldn't be too surprised. The manual for the bike said it's under the tank for older models, under the seat for newer models. This is a newer model. It's in like the second half of its production, so I suppose I shouldn't be too surprised that it sits there. Yeah, let's pop it out and let's see if any of the fuses are blown, shall we? Hopefully that stays there. Right. So, how is this? How is this attached in place so I can get hold of it? I think it should just slide out. There we go. Screwdriver. There we go. Right, so we've got a 30, a 15, a 15, a 15 and another 30 in here. Okay, right. That one's intact. So is that one? That one looks new. That one is blown. There we are. That one is gone. That's a 15. So let's just put a 15 in, see what happens. There's the modified wiring. It looks to be intact. Let's see. Let's see. That's a 15. If this works, this is going to be a really short, simple video. Just replace the fucking fuse. Let's give it a try. That's a fuel pump priming. We've got a neutral light on. Indicators are working again. That worked. That's back on. Trying to think what else wasn't working. That works okay. Yep, that's on. Oh, brake lights. Yep, working on the front. looking on the back. Oh. Well, there we go, I fixed it. The real question is though, why did it blow in the first place? Let's try. Choke. 2 fucking degrees today. Go on, you git. Oops. Well, that all seems to be working. I cut out there because I put it in gear with the kickstand down. It all seems alright. So even with the indicator, the brake light on, blaring the horn and everything else, I still can't get the fuse to blow. So why did it blow in the first place? So you see stuff like this here, where like the tape is worn. I'll just have a look. See, the wiring's intact, it's just the tape that's worn slightly. Yeah, there's no damage to the actual wiring. So why did it do what it did? I suppose I should just accept that sometimes fuses just blow. It could well have been when the indicator was hanging off that a wire has shorted out. Or it could just be that I was riding it in quite extreme conditions. Lots of water, rain, salt, road dirt. This bike is absolutely fucking filthy. It needs a wash after I get her up and running again. Yeah, why did it do what it did? Maybe the fuse was just old. It does look like an old one. Compare it to the new one I put in, it's all nice and bright and shiny. This could be an original fuse. Is there someone watching? Oh, there is. Huh. Alright. Swig of coffee, fix the indicators, put it back together, test ride. If it survives the test ride, then I'll just have to be happy with it. Yeah. Let's have a look. Alright. There's one downside to live streaming this stuff. I can't do what I normally do and wander off, have a break, make a bacon sandwich. I have to get on with it. Never mind, right. Let's adjust this camera angle for one. You can live there. Oh, sort of. Go on. Let's put that out the way. So let's change camera angle. This is more behind the scenes stuff. set that recording. I did. Good. Let's sort these indicators out. Now what's happened here, when I had the saddlebags here like this, well, actually, start that again. When I got the bike, no saddlebags, this is how it was. The indicators used to go in here and stick out like that. That's how Yamahas were designed. That's how the Viragos were made out of the factory. I wanted to put saddlebags on that went over here. The problem was the indicators were in the way. Now you could get little ones, but I wanted big ones because I wanted to go touring. So what I did was I moved the indicators to the back, and they mounted at the back of the number plate. I had some little metal brackets that they mount on. The indicator itself, the Yamaha designed bit, is fine, but what's happened is the little mounting bracket has sheared. What tended to happen was, with them being at the back, they'd get knocked and they'd get bent, and I'd have to straighten them up. Obviously that's weakened the metal, and on the bumpy arse ride that it was for the winter solstice, it's let go and it's just ended up dangling down. Fortunately, I didn't lose the indicator completely. It was still working, just hanging by its wiring. Now I can't get this ruddy USB cable undone. But yeah, I was stuck there very early in the morning in Kessingland, which doesn't really have much in the way of amenities anyway. It's literally a tourist destination. It's got like a pub and numerous campsites. I'm stood there trying to figure out how I'm going to make this bike rideable, because I can't ride it with the indicator hanging down there, risking it getting caught in my wheel. So this is what I came up with. I happen to have a USB cable in my pocket. I don't quite know why I had this pink USB cable in my pocket, but I did, and I used it to tie it on. But yeah, when I arrived, it was hanging down there like that. It's gotten a little scratched up as the lens, but yeah, it should be okay. Yeah, that might clean up. So that's the remains of the bracket. That just needs to come off. But yeah, that's it, and I suppose it's possible the damaged wiring could be under here somewhere. Right. Oh, what's that? No, that's just dirt. Yeah, it wasn't on shore like this either. It was originally through a proper gap, but it's all been like yanked through while that's been dangling around. Yeah. Right. I've just noticed there's a little diagram inside. The main 30 amp, head 15 amp, I'm guessing it's headlight, which is why that was still working. Signal 15 amp, which explains, yeah, indicators and brake lights. And then ignition 15 amp. And then that, oh, that's a spare. Oh, look at that. Huh. So someone's already taken the other 15 amp spare out. So maybe there's nothing wrong with it. Maybe it's just the fuse came to the end of its life. What we'll do then, we'll put another 15 amp in there. So now I can say I've got spare fuses. So if this does happen again, I can fix it on the road. So you don't get that with a brand new car, do you? Right. Might have to order a new one of them, because that's fucked. That's the bit that holds the fuse box in place and also contains my spare fuses. I wonder if I can order a new one of them, because that's just old rubber. Figure out a way of securing that down. Yeah, well, that's just coming apart. Joys of an old bike. Okay. Remember how I did this now. Yeah, that's the wiring that goes along there. Yeah, and then it was wedged in there. Okay. So let's snip off this wiring and see if we can pull that out. My bloody snip's gone. I swear to God, I'm the only one that ever comes down here. If the missus wants me while I'm down here, just rings me. And yet still tools go walkabout. Where the hell are my wire cutters? What the flying fuck? I don't even have anything sharp. Trim that off there, leave myself a little bit so I remember the polarity. Not that it matters because it's a normal bulb, but still. And then will that come out of there? There we go. Yeah, that's the extension that I had to put in. Okay, let's just get rid of all of this. There we go. So, a little bit of wear on this sheath here, but I can't see any actual damage to the wiring. So maybe there hasn't been a short after all. Where's that gone? Right, that's back to standard configuration, I suppose you could call it. Let's get that bolt done and get indicator number 1 back in its correct place. What am I working on? Well, I'm glad you asked. I am fixing the Virago. So, if you saw my winter solstice ride, it blew a fuse on the way back and I lost indicators, neutral indicator, horn, brake lights and kickstand cut off when I was on the way back. So far I've replaced the fuse, haven't found what caused the fuse to blow. I was expecting to find some damaged wiring but I haven't found it yet, and everything's working. And at the moment what I'm doing is I'm relocating my indicators, because they were mounted at the back on the number plate, but one of the brackets sheared off and it ended up just like rattling around in the wheel while I was riding. But now the saddlebags are gone that used to be here, so I'm putting them back where I found them in the standard configuration. It's a bit of an adventure remembering what I did to relocate the indicators, modifying the wiring, and also trying not to lose all the bloody bolts. But I'm also filming this on my normal cameras, so this will be subject of a regular video. this whole live streaming thing is kind of a new thing for me. I thought I'd give it a try. Is that actually coming undone? No, I'm just spinning the fucking bolt. Different size. So now that goes back through there. See, that's where the indicators used to be on this bike, and that's where they're going to be going forward, because I have no plans on replacing the saddlebags that were here. Tighten that. Swig of the old cafefe. Now, as I'm tightening that, is that gonna... That's the wrong way. Trick. Nice. Oh. So I'd sort of say GLG all the best. I'm not sure what GLG means, but thanks anyway. I want that tighten up. Oh, got to go. Oh, GTG. Oh, I know what that means. Fucking hell, I'm such a millennial, aren't I? Alright, have a good day, fella. Do. That goes in there. Jesus, this is taking a lot of time. I think we're getting there. Yeah, there we go. That's not going anywhere. Let's just feel all that straighten up. That's indicator number 1 in place. Fucking hell, that was a... To do one bloody nut that holds it on, that was far too much bloody work. That's straight. Yeah, it'll have to be. Fucking hell. Good. Right. Well, that's frustrating. Right. One indicator back in its proper place. Only snag is I can't find my ruddy wiring connectors to hook it back up. Where the sodding hell have they gone? So this is a problem with trying to organise your workspace. You forget where everything is. You should just leave it a complete shithole and you'd be fine. Right, coffee. Never mind. There goes that camera. Never mind, I found them. Yeah. Now, don't know if you can see these. Before anyone loses their mind, these aren't ordinary Scotch locks. So I don't want to see any comments about, oh, Scotch locks are so dangerous. No, they're not. I've been tinkering on automotive stuff, cars mainly, since I was a teenager, using Scotch locks. I have never set the car on fire. They've always worked. I've never set the house on fire. I've never blown up a petrol station. I've never contracted scurvy or leprosy or any of the other bullshit that people say can happen when you use Scotch locks. Also, these aren't ordinary Scotch locks. These are called jellies. What they are is they're filled with an amount of silicon sealant. These are used in the telecoms industry mainly, for repairing broken cables, telephone cables, broadband cables, that sort of thing. And you put the two bits of wire in, and then when you clamp it down, obviously it completes the circuit like a normal Scotch lock would, but then that silicon is pushed out and seals up the hole. And over time, that dries solid. And these are designed to be buried in all manner of conditions. You know, they can sit in water for 20-25 years, the life of the cable that you've just repaired. So they are perfectly fine for this application. And there's already a few in use on this bike anyway. Some of them are ones I've put in, some of them were here when I got the bike. So I will hear no complaints about my little wiring connectors. Right. There doesn't seem to be a way to pause a live stream. Mind you, this is only the second live stream I've ever done in my life, so there might be, and I just don't fucking know it. I need some more coffee, so I'll be back in 5 minutes. I need a be right back sign, don't I? Right, I'm back. You know, the plan was to film this as I do a normal video and have the live stream supplementing it. I feel like I'm just doing it all on live stream now. The other two cameras aren't even on. Mind you, the live stream is at just the right angle for what I'm working on, so I don't really need the other cameras. Right, let's... Where's my actual wire snips gone? Where the cock are you? There we go. Swearing at my tools. Whilst I was getting the coffee, I saw that I had an email on the work phone, and it's the daily like customer service roundup. You know, the surveys that companies like to send out to customers to make sure that, you know, well, supposedly to make sure that we're doing a good job and providing good customer service. In reality, everyone on the planet knows they're just a stick to beat us with. That's a rant for another day. I had the daily email and someone has given me a 10 out of 10 and said I was a very amicable person and extremely competent. I've never been competent before. Anyone who watches my fucking YouTube channel will know that. And extremely amicable. That, madam, is called a customer service voice. If you met me on a normal day, if I don't like you, I'll generally call you a cunt. There we go. Right. Go on. Crimp down. There we go. So that, if you can see it, is what I mean about these jellies. So I've pushed the two wires in, and when I've crimped it shut, you can see the silicon's just come out at the bottom. Now it's come out a bit far there because this is slightly too thick a gauge wire for these jellies, but they are doing the job just fine. But the stuff that's all still inside will now dry over the course of 24 hours, eventually go to a really hard rubber state like all silicon sealant does, and that's it. That's fully waterproof. That's not going to move. Like I say, these are used in the telecoms industry for one, and among other things, to repair broken cables, and they're good for the life of the cable, which is normally like 20 or 25 years buried underground. So yeah, perfect. Right, let's do the last one. That and this in there. Right, let's make sure it's working. Look at that, flashing away. We're not blowing any fuses either. Yeah, it's still going. Right. Perfect. So now we need to do the second one. See if we can change the angle on the old stream of live. What? You with me? How we're doing for battery seems okay for now. Let's stick you down there. Can you go there? Like that? No. No, that's going to fall over. There we go. Well, that's not going to go anywhere, is it? Perfect. Right. So, let's have this camera around like that. These nuts and bolts that I put in don't actually do anything. I just put them in so that I wasn't left with a hole. Not that it really mattered because the saddlebag was over the top here. I am a little curious to know how much speed I'm going to gain from not having the saddlebags on. Now when I first put them on, it didn't really seem to make any difference, but I've had multiple people tell me, oh, you'll get an extra 5-10 mile an hour out of it, you know, if you didn't have those on. I don't think it's going to make a blind bit of difference because my fat arse and legs sit here anyway. So any wind resistance from the saddlebags is irrelevant because you've already got wind resistance from my fat arse. But it could be interesting. So where does the wiring for this one go? It goes oh yeah, now I remember. This is the one where the left-hand indicator for some reason had different connectors to the right one. And was wired up differently. Yeah, I remember. I didn't have to modify the wiring on this because it was already long enough to reach back there. going to be that way. Yeah. You know, even though I screw things together for my day job, I still have to think nearly every time. Is it? Yeah, that way. Righty tighty, lefty loosey. But that doesn't include reaching into things where you can't fucking see, different ways around. Right, is it that? Oh yeah, it's that way, right. There we go, that's out. Yeah, so you can see just here, that's the bracket that I had on, and it's just all bent up. The indicator's just kept getting caught on stuff at the back. Also, the saddlebags would occasionally brush into it. Well, actually, no, what would happen was the saddlebags stuck out even further than the indicators, and they'd get caught on stuff and get pushed back and bend up the indicator brackets. That's probably why the other one sheared off. It'd just been bent and straightened out too many times. Never mind, not going to have this problem again. Look at that. Coming up to 1 hour and 20 minutes on the live stream. I want to say that's one upside to live streaming this stuff. It makes me get on with the job. Because normally, when I'm not live, I take long breaks. I'll drink a lot more coffee. There we go. I'll put a TV show on because I've got a TV down here in the workshop. And a job like this would take me all day. I'm probably going to have this done at the 2-hour mark, which is brilliant because that makes the editing a lot easier. So even though nobody's watching right now as I'm saying this, I think I'm definitely going to live stream stuff in the future. Yeah. Good plan, that. Right. Ooh, ooh. Ooh. Slide that up a bit more. The end of these wires look like they've had some sort of repair done to them in the past. I don't think this is me. But the shrink wrap on one of them, it hasn't shrunk very much. It's not that tight. So could that be an explanation for what happened? Because it was just revealing a slight amount of the insulation. Oh, not the insulation, the core. So, but then again, there's nothing there for it to touch. Possibly. Who knows? Right. I strongly suspect that whatever happened to that fuse is going to remain a mystery. See what I mean? Catches you out. Stuart. Fucking hell. Doing everything the wrong way today. I just noticed there's a fucking bolt missing in here that holds this on. There's two here, and there should be two here. There's only one. Right, okay. I mean, it's not going anywhere. Still, where is that? That's probably on a workshop floor somewhere. How the fuck did I get that wiring up there last time? It goes in there.
trying to direct the wiring through here, and it won't fucking go. It keeps getting caught around this. Right, sort of progress. See if we can get this to go where I want it to now. One wire through. There we go, the wiring is through. Fuck me. Maybe I did extend this wiring after all. I don't remember there being this much of it. There we go, she is working now. Working on both sides as well. Perfect. Right, well that is excellent. What are we on? Hour and 34 minutes. And I'm more or less done. Live streaming can't be a bad thing, because I've got that done in under 2 hours. Just need to put it back together. I'm happy with how that's gone actually. Yeah. A little disconcerting that I haven't found what caused the fuse to blow. But then again, given that the spare was missing, it's perhaps not the first time that fuse has blown. Sometimes fuses just blow. But it's all back together and working. The indicators are at slightly different angles, so we can straighten that one up. Yeah, close enough. You won't be able to tell once I put the seat back on. Oh, right. So, things outstanding before I close the live stream, because I need to go back inside now. I need a new one of these, which is the strap that holds my little fuse box in place, and also has the spare fuses in it. It's all just, yeah, it's just broken apart. It's just old. Hopefully I can find a new one. And then she needs a test ride. Whether or not I do that today, I don't know. I might wait until that strap arrives, actually. Yeah, then I don't have to fuck around taking the seat off again just to put a little rubber strap on. Alright, so anyone who tuned into the live stream, thank you for watching. Let's turn the bike off again. So, anyone watching the regular video, I'll see you in a minute when we finish off. Right. Turn that off. Let me see, how does one end a live stream? God, I look fucking old. Jesus, I look rough, don't I? Right. Stop streaming, yes. Goodbye.